Chapter 1. 1. Mary, you will regret this. Mary Lindsay settled herself in the driving seat of her small car and pulled on her gloves. She looked apologetically at her friend and said, "It's not irrevocable, Catherine." Yet she knew it was, and so did Catherine, as she said irritably, "You'll go to seed." "Things do in the country," said Mary. "They have to, for there is seed time and harvest there. Catherine, this may be my last chance to live it." "What?" "Country life. I've never known it. I'd like to before it and I disappear from the English scene." "You talk as though you were 70, snapped Catherine. "And why must you go alone? You might at least have let me come with you." "Catherine," said Mary gently but forcibly, for they had had this out before, "you know, for I've told you, I have to go alone. You'll come and stay when I'm settled. Goodbye, my dear. Thank you for helping me pack. Thank you for everything. Goodbye." She was far too disciplined a woman to cry, but Catherine was not very clear to her as she waved and moved off down the familiar London street. They had worked together for 6 years, Mary in an executive post in one of the ministries, Catherine as one of her subordinates, and it had been wordlessly understood that they would live together when they retired, in London, where they would have music, ballet, and good plays, all those things that until now had been so necessary to Mary. And now she had already retired at 50, and Catherine would not do so for another 10 years. The parting was harder for Catherine, Mary thought sadly, for she herself was sustained by the madness of her adventure. For the woman that she was, both urban and cosmopolitan, it was indeed mad. A few months ago, a cousin of her father's, whom she had not seen since she was a child, had died at the age of 85. Leaving her a little money, a small house, and all that it contained. The house was in a remote village in the Chilterns, of which she possessed only a few memories, and they had been almost totally submerged until that morning when the lawyer's letter had come. She had had no time to look at her mail before she left her flat, and she had taken the letter to her office and opened it there. She had read it over and over again, marveling, passing with each minute a little further away from where her body sat, a little further back in time, and then suddenly that day when her father had taken her to see Cousin Mary had been alive again, with the memories no longer memories, but present experience. Her comfortable office, the roar of the traffic in the street below, and the woman at the desk had all vanished, and Mary Lindsay had been a child again. 2. She was driving with her father in a pony trap along a country lane bordered on each side with trees. They were like no trees she had ever seen in the London parks. They were tremendous, august, and unearthly. Far up in the blue sky there was a faint rustling of leaves, a movement of branches in the May wind, but below there was a motionless, shadowed, possessive stillness. Yet though she pressed closer to her father, she was not afraid of them. She thought they were good trees, pleased to see her, and glad her father was taking her to see her namesake, Cousin Mary Lindsay. She had not been called after her cousin on purpose. She had understood from talk between her father and mother, merely by accident. But poor Cousin Mary had been so pleased to have a child of the family bearing her name that they had not liked to undeceive her. And now she had asked that the little Mary might be brought to see her, so that she could show her the little things. She had sent the trap from the pub to meet the London train at the nearest station 6 miles away. There was a boy at the pub who could drive it. "Fine trees," said her father to this boy, whose piercing blackbird whistling had been momentarily hushed by the grandeur of the trees. "What are they?" "Limes," said the boy. "Ain't another lime avenue like this in all the country." And then his whistling broke out again as the trees drew back. Mary heard them moving and felt their mysterious hold releasing her. To her left now were cherry trees at the edge of a wood. Within the wood were bluebells, and she heard a cuckoo calling. Between that memory and the next, the cuckoo called in a warm darkness, its note changing imperceptibly to the pealing of a bell, for the clock in a square church tower was ringing the hour.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.